So this video is going to be about enemas. I already have a video on enemas in my archives if you want to check it out and you haven't seen it already. It's called Are Enemas Unsafe? But one thing that I use this channel for is to spread information about colon cleansing and fasting and health. And what I've learned through my own trial and error is that enemas can help us get healthier. They can help us detoxify quicker. They can help us kick out poisons out of the system more efficiently and more rapidly. And when used in tandem with fasting, can accelerate the healing processes of the fasting experience. I've been doing enemas for years now. There's a ton of disinformation out there about enemas. Many people tell other people that enemas are unsafe, that they'll ruin your innards, etc. All a bunch of bogus, all a bunch of hogwash. Many of the people making these claims about enemas, most of them have never even done an enema, and many of them have never experimented with enemas for, a month or two, let alone 6 months, a year, or 2 years. Many people just like to parrot off false information that was handed to them from other people. And that's sad because many people who are interested in new things such as enemas, when they hear someone else say, "Oh, bro, those are bad for you," they don't even pursue it. A lot of people just like to, like I said, parrot off information even though they've never experimented with what they're talking about. Essentially, a lot of people just say, "Oh, the enemas are unhealthy, bro." But I've never tried an enema, though, but I know that they're unhealthy. That's the type of nation we live in. We live in a nation of people who just don't even do their own experimentations to verify the claims of whether or not something's healthy or not. It is what it is. There's so many positive things that an enema can help you do, and if you think, or can do for you, and if you think enemas are gross, I don't really care. If you could see what's on in the inside of your body right now, in your colon, etc., you'd be much more grossed out than sticking a hose into your rectum to help, and washing your innards to help get the shit out. Many people that think enemas are gross, if you could take a look at what's going on in your colon, if you could take a look at the amount of parasites you harbor, you wouldn't be saying something foolish such as, "Oh, enemas are gross. You put a little hose in your rectum?" I'll do whatever it takes to assist my body in the process of regaining natural equilibrium with my health. Our health and wellness is directly related to the health of our colon. So you might want to consider taking care of it, cleansing, and you might want to consider administering some enemas for yourself. Colonic irrigations are also great. They're, however, somewhat expensive. So right now I stick to the enema bag, which I could administer at home, whenever I want. It's much easier. I'll make a video reviewing which enema bag I use and how to use it, etc. How to clean it and whatnot. But for now, I just want to rant a little bit about enemas. I want to read a couple passages out of Edmund Bordeaux-Zeckley's book, The Essene Science of Fasting. Let's see here. Yes, The Essene Science of Fasting. Great book. It's gone up in value over the years. I picked this up for about $7. I've seen them go for about over $100 on the internet. But if you can find a good cheap copy of this, pick it up because there's a ton of information in here. This book is about fasting, and it's also about using enemas with fasting to accelerate the healing process. So on page 17 is the Enema Natural. Another application during the fast is the washing of the intestines. The question of the enema is a cause of great dispute among The way this book is written, it's somewhat hard to read. Another application during the fast is the washing of the intestines. The question of the enema is a cause of great disputes among naturalists and naturopaths. There are those who say that the enema is an entirely unnatural thing. They say that animals living in a state of nature never have such a thing. They also hold that enemas remove certain mucus material from the lining of the intestines, and for this reason, too, they disapprove of them. To them, I would answer, is the consumption of refined and processed foods laden with chemical additives and preservatives a natural thing? Pull my window down. It's hot in here. Again, to them I would answer, is the consumption of refined and processed foods laden with chemical additives and preservatives a natural thing? Have we ever seen wild animals eating cooked food or white sugar and white flour? We have not. It is natural, therefore, that they should not require enemas, nor would human beings need them if we were to live naturally. But we have introduced unnatural things into our bodies. But if we have introduced unnatural things into our bodies, then we have to eliminate them. Due to the unnatural way that many of us live here in the Matrix, we have acquired and accumulated impacted fecal matter, parasites, excess mucus, etc. in the digestive system, in the colon, the large intestine, in the small intestine. Many of the foods that we eat here in the Matrix are sticky and denatured and enzyme depleted and unnatural. And when we eat foods like that, they create fecal matter that is oftentimes it's like glue. It's very sticky. It can also be very dry and can get impacted in the nodes of the small and large intestine, or the colon, So when that happens, when we eat an unnatural way, when we eat and we live in an unnatural manner, sometimes we have to resort to unnatural measures such as a colonic irrigation or an enema to help get the stuff out. Because let me tell you, some of the impacted fecal matter in the colon is so lodged in there and it's so kicked onto the inside of the colon that good luck getting it out without an enema. The only way, in my opinion, that you're going to get it out without an enema is with fasting. Because with fasting, you stop eating. When you stop eating, your body can now kickstart its healing processes, and it can begin to break apart the impactions in the colon. Deep stuff. I've seen some really disgusting stuff come out of my system with fasting and with enemas. And every time after I do an enema and I see what comes out of me, I know that what I'm doing is something healthy for my body, because why would I want to keep all the accumulations? Why would I want to keep all the parasites, the liver flukes, the worms? Why would I want to keep all of the impacted fecal matter, all of the excess mucus, the candida, the etc. in the system? The stuff wouldn't have come out. The stuff that I've cleansed out of me with enemas wouldn't have come out, in my opinion, unless I was doing enemas. They may have come out if I was doing a long fast, but I don't have the patience sometimes to just do a 40-day water fast so I can kick some stuff out of my system when I can just jump from point A to point B really quick and just kick it out of my system with an enema. Continuing. But if we have introduced unnatural things into our bodies, then we have to eliminate them. One unnatural custom breeds another. During a fast, a great quantity of harmful waste products and other substances enter the intestines and accumulate there. If they are not eliminated, these substances can create an intense fermentation, which can exercise such a local pressure on particular organs and general pressure on the nervous system as to give rise to dangerous consequences, having regard to the general weakness of the organism during a fast. Again, During a fast, a great quantity of harmful waste products and other substances enter the intestines and accumulate there. If they are not eliminated, these substances can create an intense fermentation, which can exercise such a local pressure on particular organs and general pressure on the nervous system as to give rise to dangerous consequences, having regard to the general weakness of the organism during a fast. If we take an enema during a fast, we cannot fail to remark the dense color of the liquid discharged. Again, this is very important. If we take an enema during a fast, we cannot fail to remark the dense color of the liquid discharged, its contents and smell, from which it is easy to see that it would be less advantageous. Excuse me. Okay. I'm just going to repeat that over again. Excuse me. If we take an enema during a fast, we cannot fail to remark the dense color of the liquid discharged, its contents and smell, from which it is easy to see that it would be less advantageous to leave such material in the intestines than to remove it with the help of a little plain water. I mean, I've done enemas, held the water in my system for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, and then expelled it. And I put water in my system, and what came out was like sludge, smelled like a swamp. I've done this multiple times. It's amazing how many times I've done enemas, and I've just released just massive amounts of waste. Massive amounts of waste. And what's always weird to me is that I can put water into my colon and hold it for a while, and when I release that same liquid, it is now much denser. It's like it's gone from water to like a thick smoothie consistency. It's disgusting. And when you smell this stuff and when you see what it looks like, you make the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical connection in the mind, and your instincts kick in and allow you to see. You just know that it's poisonous. You know that you're kicking out toxicity. You know that you're kicking out years and years of waste. No regular feces smells the way the stuff smells that comes out of you when you do an enema or etc. It's disgusting. Sometimes it smells like chemicals mixed with like bleach and bad breath. Sometimes it smells like the bottom of the distiller chamber after I distill a bunch of water. Sometimes it smells like sulfur, like just extreme sulfur. Sometimes it smells like onion and just all sorts of different disgusting smells. It's amazing how much garbage we literally have accumulated in the system over years of living in this matrix and eating the foods that this matrix shoves down our throats. If the average person knew before eating their junk food what it did to the innards, I doubt that they would eat it. Because, I mean, it's amazing how much damage we've done to our eliminative system, the eliminative channels of the body. It's amazing how much damage we've done to our digestive system in our intestines from eating years of matrix food, fake processed, mineral depleted, enzyme depleted, spiritually devoid foods. It's amazing. Many people, they want to get into enemas and they try an enema and they can't even hold it for more than 15 minutes because they're so plugged up. Or excuse me, more than 15 seconds. It's amazing. If you're just getting into enemas and you're going to try this, you may want to do it in the bathroom where the toilet will be close, because there's been times when I've done enemas when I was starting out where I'm like almost immediately after the fluid started going into my system, my body was just like had to release it. And if I wasn't close to that toilet, I mean, there would be a bunch of shit on the floor. So, you know, cleansing, what I've learned about cleansing is the average person can't handle it, because the average person can't handle getting dirty and doing the dirty work and seeing all the disgusting shit that comes out of our system. The average person can't handle seeing parasites come out of them. The average person can't handle feeling what it feels like to expel parasites. I've had a ropeworm about 1.5 feet long come out of me, and I could feel it dangling from my rectum. I'm being honest here. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you have a problem with my honesty and my information, you can click the little fucking X in the right hand corner of the little screen. I'm not gonna fucking pasteurize and homogenize and walk on eggshells and not say the truth. I mean, you're gonna see some shit come out of you if you cleanse. Coffee enemas are highly effective. Um, Alkaline water enemas are very effective. Lemon enemas. I've done eucalyptus oil enemas. I've done just a ton of different stuff, and it's just amazing um, what comes out. What I've learned is that the key to the proper enema is getting the temperature of the water right. Because if it's just off, slightly off, if it's just not, you have to get the water uh, the perfect temperature so that when it goes into the system, it doesn't shock the colon. You'll have a very difficult time holding water for longer than a minute in the colon if it is cold. So I'll make a video on how to make the proper temperature water for the enemas, etc. But I'm not going to do it in this video. Let's see here. Let's see how I am on time. Okay, it looks like I have a little bit more time on this battery. I'll keep it going. I'm going to start a whole series of videos just on enemas. And again, I don't care if you have a problem with me talking about putting a hose into your rectum and washing your intestines. I don't care. If you want to think that's gross, then, I mean, keep eating your fucking garbage food and just keep accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. The average person, when they hear me say that the colon's filled with shit, impacted fecal matter, parasites, etc., the average person, due to their conditioning's going to think that I'm full of shit. So, it is what it is. I know that only a small percentage of the people that hear information like this absorb it and do something with it. And that's what these videos are for. It's for the people who actually give a fuck. These videos are for the people who actually want to initiate the cleansing process in their system, etc. Okay, so if we do not take an enema during a fast, all this matter is left in the intestines. With the result that the organism must make a great effort to eliminate all these substances by the usual channels of excretion. So, you know, essentially, you don't have to fast to do an enema. I do enemas all the time without fasting, but if you are going to fast, using an enema can very rapidly accelerate the process of the fast. Because again, I mean, there's tons of stuff that accumulates in the intestines when we fast, and if we wash that stuff out, then we can aid the body in lessen the amount of work that it has to do to kick this stuff out of the eliminated channels. For the completely denatured individual living in our present artificial civilization, an enema is an adjunct to successful fasting. Excuse me. I keep slipping my words up today. I don't know why. For the completely denatured individual living in our present artificial civilization, an enema as an adjunct to successful fasting is a very necessary thing. The effect of having an unnatural diet for some years is that the intestines are full of unwholesome matter and inferior fermentations. I cannot stress this enough. This is very important. The effect of having an unnatural diet for some years is that the intestines are full of unwholesome matter and inferior fermentations. In such an environment, a large number of parasites, both visible and invisible, multiply constantly. Remember, many of the parasites, I'd say about 70 to 75% of the parasites that people have, you can't even see them. There's only a small percentage of parasites that are visible to our human eyes. Many of them you can't see without a microscope, etc. So, you know, many people, I don't have any parasites, blah, 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 you know, I don't have any worms, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean you're not filled with a bunch of fucking tiny little bacteriums and all sorts of little tiny parasites. And believe me, the average person that thinks that they don't have worms are filled with fucking worms. I used to think that I didn't have worms. I used to think that I didn't have parasites until I got my act together and started doing the experiments and came to the conclusion that yes, we are filled with shit. We're not only filled with shit, we're filled with parasites, candida, mold. I mean, the things that I've seen things that have come out of me that look like giant chunks of rubber that had the consistency of rubber. I've seen I've cleansed fecal matter out of me that was black and it had the consistency of thick mud that smelled like bleach and bad breath. I mean, the things I've seen come out of me are endless. So if you think enemas are I'm not even going to get into it, man. It's just I hear multiple people all the time, oh, that's like you put like a hose up your butt, blah, blah, blah. I think it's like immature or gross or something. It's like you got to do what you got to do to fucking get rid of the damage that the Matrix has done to your system. So people are just immature, man. They think that it's just amazing how immature people are. They think that because you're washing your intestines and putting a hose into your rectum, that it's just, not even going to get into it, man. Again, in such an environment, a large number of parasites, both visible and invisible, multiply constantly. In most cases, evacuation of the bowels is not regular or normal, and the waste matter is never entirely just discharged from the intestines. Again, in most cases, evacuation of the bowels is not regular or normal, and the waste matter is never entirely discharged from the intestines. It is for this reason, particularly in the large intestines, but in the others as well, that inferior stratified layers are formed. The microbes of the inferior fermentations multiply by division, and though they are due to a previous flesh diet, they and all their parasites continue to thrive even in the contents of the intestines derived from a vegetarian diet and may remain for several years. They can therefore form the permanent precondition of contagious diseases. Parasites are survivors. These things can live. I've heard stories of tapeworms living for over a year without even, just like it being dormant and not even eating, just living off the warmth of the host and suckling the blood in the fluids of the host. Parasites are tough. And what I've found is that when I start killing parasites, they start fucking with me. They actually affect my consciousness and they try to make my life miserable. That may sound completely insane to the average person, but that's what I've come to find through my experimentations and my trial and error. It's amazing what the things that I've witnessed here in this life, with cleansing and cleansing parasites and doing colon cleansing, etc. I mean, it's amazing. Once you start trying to kill these things, they start fucking with you. That's what. And don't think that they don't have the ability to fuck with you. Read Parasite Rex. Read Parasites Look What Came to Dinner. Do some research on these things, and you'll find that parasites, they're constantly manipulating their host. That's how they stay alive. They stay alive by manipulating their host. They stay alive by using their host as a biological remote control vehicle so that they can live. Parasites can't control my mind, bro, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. In fact, people that talk like that are usually the ones that are filled with the most parasites. The most ignorant people are often the ones who harbor the most accumulations. The more I deaccumulate and the more I cleanse, etc., the more spiritual I become, etc., the healthier I feel, the less dense I feel, etc. And is it that far-fetched to think that expelling a bunch of fucking disgusting worms and fecal matter, etc., won't make you feel better? I mean, come on. I'm going to read one more passage, then I'm going to wrap this up. For all these reasons, the enema is necessary at the beginning of our new life. After the fermentations, former parasites, and harmful waste products have been eliminated, the intestinal system will regain its vitality and elasticity, particularly if, at the same time as we adopt the new natural diet, we begin the renewal of the body. If we do normal absorption, excuse me, I don't know why I'm slipping up so much when I'm reading today. For all these reasons, the enema is necessary at the beginning of our new life. After the fermentations, former parasites, and harmful waste products have been eliminated, the intestinal system will regain its vitality and elasticity, particularly if, at the same time as we adopt the new natural diet, we begin the renewal of the body. If we do normal absorption of the nutritive juices If we do, normal absorption of the nutritive juices is a certainty. Remember, many people can't even absorb the nutrients out of their foods and juices, fruits, etc., because they're so accumulated. That's why we need to remove accumulations, because by removing accumulations, we can now begin to actually absorb the majority of nutrients that we need to absorb from the foods that we eat or drink. You know, I could keep reading. I'm just going to end it. Pick up this book if you're interested in fasting, and if you can find a good deal on it. I mean, the wisdom in this book is exponential. Anything else to say? This has been a 25-minute video. I might just break this video up into a bunch of little pieces and make a bunch of segments. I know a lot of people out here in the Matrix don't have time to watch all my lengthy rants. 25 minutes, some think that that's fairly long. That's like a minute to me. I got a lot to say, but I probably will break this up into a bunch of little rants. I hope this video helped you gain some clarity about enemas and colon cleansing. This in no way is going to be the only video I'm going to make about this kind of stuff. I mean, I could rant for hours about the health benefits and the spiritual benefits of colon cleansing and washing the intestines and etc. But you know, just crazy. Again, what I've seen come out of me with enemas is proof that the enema is an essential tool to regaining our health and vitality in youth and spirituality. The metaphysics of accumulations, you know, when we accumulate toxicity in the system, it actually robs our body-mind complex's ability to attain higher consciousness. And when we accumulate and accumulate and accumulate, we become denser and denser and denser, and we're supposed to be becoming lighter and lighter and lighter and more crystalline, so that we can ascend into the higher realms of consciousness and activate Kundalini, etc. Kundalini does not like bodies that are filled with shit. So if we do want to stimulate Kundalini, and if we do want to become more angelic, and if we do want to stimulate the higher functionability of our brain, body, and physiology, etc., wouldn't it make sense to first remove the accumulations that are keeping it plugged? Because we know that the cause of all diseases can be linked to blockages in the system. I don't care if they're energetic blockages, physical blockages, emotional blockages, etc. Blockages lead to sickness, and sickness leads to decay, and decay leads to death. So we need to essentially rewrite the formula and just start doing things that liberate us, clean us, heal us, and bring us closer to nature, so that we can get our godhood back and ascend back into the light beings that we are. You know, I mean, fucking A. Jesus Christ, it's just amazing how sick this nation's become. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I have to live here. I have to deal with it. Every day I have to deal with this endless amounts of people that look like zombies, man. People look so unhealthier. The healthier you get, the more you realize just how unhealthy the planet around you is. So, health in a way is a double-edged sword. I would never take it back. I'd never throw my health away, but it's changed my life in the sense that it's allowed me to, it's made me see reality in a different context, because now it's like I feel like a healer, and I feel like the multitude of the people out here, they're sick, but many of the people out here, they don't even want to heal. Many of the people love being ignorant. Many of the people love their GMO and their fluoride water. Many of the people love their sports and their fake fucking Hollywood entertainment. Many people will never put 5 minutes of time into studying how to cleanse their colon. Most people will just go along because that's what the system wants. Most people will be good, obedient little slaves, and they will never fucking do this. It's just... I'm gonna end this rant before I go off and start yelling. Hope this video fucking helped you. Peace be with you. Have any questions? Ask away. Peace.